This is the story of how Penn Ward, the creator of Adventure Time, Bennett Foddy, the creator of Quap, Cactus Squid, the creator of Hotline Miami, Keita Takahashi, the creator of Katamari Damacy, and a whole heap of other incredible indie developers and artists teamed up with two fresh-faced individuals to create the perfect gaming space, raising over $300,000 from backers on Kickstarter, resulting in, well, pretty much nothing.
I wanna take you for a ride.
Welcome everybody to Kickscammers, the show where I, DJ Slug, with the help of my Kickscammer detective agency on Discord, look for the absolute scammiest Kickstarters, the scummiest Indiegogos, and the downright evil GoFundMe campaigns to ever exist. And today we're taking a deep dive into the world of the LA game space, a place funded by you, a place created so that brand new experimental games by some of the industry's finest can be created with you, and a place that you expected to exist. But it never did. However, it did pump out some rather brilliant oddball games, most of which I'm going to be covering in this very episode. But for right now, this is the story of Kickstarter's biggest indie game con artists. Welcome to Slope's Game Room. Our story starts back in November of 2012. The idea of this space was incredibly simple, yet incredibly brilliant. With a lot of big names, some of which we have mentioned, others we will in a bit. Daniel Rain and Adam Robasoli wanted to create a place where experimental indie developers could create something unique in a world filled with cookie-cut AAA experiences. For me, this is perfect. Some of my fondest gaming memories are created by games that try something new. And as you already know, it's the big companies out there that rarely experiment in these fields, resulting in you having to scour the bin of Steam and other companies like that looking for that new gaming experience. But not for long, because in LA game space, these creators can make titles with like-minded individuals, have the games tested by fans of this niche genre, and they can even listen in on some TED Talk-like discussions to further improve their craft.
What could possibly go wrong?
Hi, I'm Adam.
And I'm Daniel.
And this is the enormous warehouse where you can help us launch a nonprofit center for art, design, and research, LA GameSpace. LA GameSpace will consist of 4 components: artist residencies, exhibitions, research labs, and speaker series and workshops. In the artist residency, game designers will collaborate with practitioners from other fields, such as architects, performance artists, scientists, or anyone with an interesting concept to explore. Together, they'll create new, highly experimental game projects that can be different from anything you've ever played before.
The Kickstarter offering all of this first popped up on the 7th of November 2012. It was asking for $250,000, and in short, it gained that, when 10,354 backers got it to $335,657, which may be surprising to you guys considering the vast majority of these backers will never have the ability to actually visit the game space. However, the brilliant way the duo got around this was by getting some rather huge people involved, and as long as you donated $5 yourself, no matter where you lived in the world, you would get yourself a brand new experimental game. The big one was a joint effort by Keita Takahashi, the creator of Katamari Damacy, and Adam Saltzman, the creator of Cannabolt. If you backed $5, you got their game Alphabet, indirectly helping the LA game space at the same time. And here it is. In the game with possibly the world's most annoying soundtrack, and I wouldn't have it any other way, you basically move letters across the screen by holding that key down on your keyboard, and then getting them to jump over obstacles by letting go of said button. As you would expect, it becomes more and more frantic as more and more letters show up on the screen. Oh, and keep in mind, you can only push down a few buttons at a time. Because of this, you'll be pushing the letters along by using the letters at the back of the pack, constantly changing up as they all get mixed up. It's absolutely absolutely bonkers, and even though it only lasts about 10 minutes in total, or a little longer if you're someone like me who struggles to touch type, it did what it needed to do. It garnered a lot of attention and it almost raised $2,000 on its own. But that was just one game of many. If you wanted the rest of the games, you now need to pay the minimum of $15, which 6,480 people did, resulting in $97,200. Basically, what I'm trying to say is that a shade under $100,000 came from people that wanted the artsy game, and for the most part, they got them. Actually had a further $43,000 to that total, as the $25 tier got a mixtape thrown in too. So before looking at more of the games in this collection, let's go and have a look at the Kickstarter itself. During the life of the campaign, the owners knew exactly what they were doing by adding more and more games, some classic but mostly new titles, and it seemed to be catching the eyes of more and more people, with not only news outlets chatting about it, but fans of the projects too, spreading it all over social media, resulting in more and more big-named individuals jumping in, including Pen Ward, aka the creator of Adventure Time, who created this video and uploaded it to his own channel.
Hello, my name is Pendleton Ward. Guys, there's a Kickstarter that's happening right now for a place. It's really exciting. I mean, it could change the world, I think, for real, everybody. It's a place for video games to flourish like flowers, you guys. I'm gonna make a game with the dude who made Quap. Quap, y'all. Quap is so good. The dude who made Quap.
It was obvious this campaign was going to be a huge success. This was made possible due to some rather huge tiers getting added towards the end of the campaign, primarily around holding your own event at the game space, or by having your name or even a picture of you on all materials at the event for a set amount of time. These tiers of course went into the thousands of dollars, and yes, people did actually pay for them. Like for instance, having your picture up on the wall at the game space for $1,000 each. And yes, 22 people backed that one, and 3 people backed the Ultra Founder tier, which was essentially the same thing, but this one included a picture of you in pixel art too. That one was $3,000. Now, it's all worth keeping in mind that this was all public knowledge. When going on the website, the amount of backers vastly outweighs the numbers shown on the Kickstarter, and that's obviously because the campaign owners continued to take in donations via PayPal after the campaign had ended. So who knows what the final figure was? And at the top of that list, you had individuals like Alex Rigopoulos, the former CEO of Harmonix, Brian Lee O'Malley, the cartoonist for Scott Pilgrim, David Perry, the founder of Shiny Entertainment, and Julie Ehrman, the CEO of the Ouya. Okay. Yes, I shouldn't laugh. It's just so surprising for me that this campaign had so many big boys and girls involved. I've covered hundreds of Kickstarters in the past that have failed, and none of them have had this many big names attached. In fact, the Scott Pilgrim creator even went as far as to create a unique t-shirt too to help spread the word, which you could also get along with a zine for only $55, which, by the way, 1,411 people actually did. And did I mention that you could also choose between one of 6 designs, including a Pen Ward design too, paying extra after the campaign had ended if you wanted to get more than the first t-shirt, which of course, plenty of people did. So with the campaign being a massive success, the team started working on building that game space, and they started showing off updates on what that was looking like. Time dragged on slowly with barely any updates, and the packages to backers had become delayed, with very few updates being given at all on that front. Finally, several months late, some of the backers started to get some of their games, as well as a few screenshots for upcoming titles such as Check Please, which was the Pen Ward and Bennett Foddy game. Here are a couple of my favourites. Depth is a game created for the Portal fans in the room. You basically click a blue cube that makes it disappear and line it up just right to make it reappear to create a platform that you will then need to platform your way over. It's an idea that has a lot of legs, although this short teaser demo is good enough if it's all we ever get. Game Space Game is way more addictive than it has any right to be, essentially being a stealthy platformer game that's incredibly punishing. Inputting is really quite fun, but albeit extremely short. You basically roll a ball around by pushing down certain keys on your keyboard. Perfect Slide is quite weird. Honestly, it's nothing more than a new control scheme for first-person shooters, making you go faster the more you move left and right. It's odd and at least worth trying. Video Heroes is quite funny. You basically get asked for movie suggestions and then you need to give people the film based on those suggestions. Although this turns into a better game when you just chuck everything on the floor. And you of course have plenty of other games too, but I either couldn't get them to work or they were so confusing I had no idea what the f was going on. AKA, they were art. Regardless of what you guys may think of these mini experiments, the feedback from the backers who actually did get them was actually pretty positive. Sure, you had people kicking off that the collection didn't include several big budget games that were promised, including that Penn Ward game, but what was here was at least pretty good, if these are the sort of games you're going for. These game packs could be downloaded from the brand new gamepacks.net website that the campaign owners had spent a considerable amount of time on for this and future collections, which of course accepted even more money from newcomers. And for many, besides the delays, this was the first red flag. Rewinding back a bit, this whole Kickstarter campaign was created to create a space for indie game developers to create new and experimental games, to push the medium further and therefore create something that would benefit us all. As the website states, these creators all volunteered to create new games to support LA Game Space. They didn't get paid to make these games, they essentially donated them for the greater good, meaning that the $335,657 raised at least wasn't going to the creators, but instead the two individuals who wanted to create the place. But still, as time moved on and after a few external events were held, it was quickly apparent that the duo had run out of money. A year had passed and details of the game space and eventually those games the backers were still waiting on had started to vanish from the website without any explanation. The rewards started shipping out to backers over the years later than expected, and although the t-shirts were high quality, the printing on the zines were pretty much hated by everyone, due to them not being zines but instead just a folded piece of orange paper which was printed on incredibly low quality paper badly. Presumably because of this, the company just stopped sending them out. And that was the end of that. A few years later, the charitable organisation that had already become exempt from paying any kind of federal income tax due to the success of the campaign, which somehow proved that they are indeed a charity, well, they shut up shop in 2018, failing to ever open the LA Game Space doors. Penn Ward privatised his video too, promoting the campaign, and the Game Packs website has long been bought out by some random third party. So what the hell happened to all the money? Well, supposedly, half the budget went on designing the space, going to engineers, and even more of that money went on the Game Packs website and external events, when so many people have already stated that they didn't need to make that website when websites such as Humble Bundle already exist. Even though this was a charitable organisation, people still need to get paid, having helpers work on these events, coders for the website and engineers for the game space. All of this equated to, according to one of the board members, around about $243,000, leaving at least $64,000 after Kickstarter fees, but before money being raised outside of Kickstarter completely unaccounted for. It's of course bad to jump to conclusions, but when the campaign owners don't actually give you any closure themselves, what other choice do we have? Besides the terribly designed physical backer rewards that did get sent out, it's assumed that the majority of the money went straight into the pockets of the two owners in return for the hard work they did creating this idea for several years, an idea that resulted in nothing but an idea. An idea that had a whole heap of talent involved, all of which thought they were doing the right thing, providing their time for free in order to help younger generations create something unique, improving video gaming as we know it. Little do they know this would all tarnish their own reputation in the process, whilst lining the pockets of two, let's face it, incredible salesmen. This is the final statement given by the unnamed board member about these two individuals, which of course you guys can read in full down in the description. Today the two are around, but LA GameSpace is not on their resumes. 5.5 years of their lives they claim, but it's all invisible. I'd love to see their tax returns during that span just to see how much of their lives this really was. Let's face it, it wasn't. I also understand that some of you game fans and developers are giving them your best wishes after their final posting. You're stellar examples of hope for those looking for a second, third or even a fourth chance, but LA GameSpace should at least be a cautionary tale of how a fair chunk of Kickstarter, your money, was severely mishandled, how something as easy as opening a shop door with $306,915 budget didn't happen, and how casually someone will misuse your name for their profit. With all that said, let's keep indie games moving forward. And guys, you can check out all of the games listed in this video by going to the link in the description. Long live the indie game scene. Hey there guys, thank you all for checking out the video. This is the part of the video where I like to give a massive shout out to all of my patrons and all of my YouTube members that allow me to make videos just like this. Of course, a massive thank you goes out to every single one of you for subscribing, for liking, for leaving a comment, for sharing it on social media, all that stuff. But an extra big shout out goes out to all of the names at the bottom of the screen, with an extra big shout out going to the following people: Aggro Crag, Akatimo84, Andrew Dalton, Arista, Ashley Philpott, Benjamin Guy, Big Rico, Boots and Pup, Bram Perez, Chev Matic, Christopher Devero, Clan Bob, Conrad Constantine, Action Saxon, Dina81, Game Apologist, Gary Pinkett, Ian Qualin, Treed Gaming, Ataki Teacher, The Ashen Knight, Jay is Manchild, Jabba Al Aiden, James, Jeff Mianowski, Jeremy Rodriguez, John Rogers, Lucas Gates, Lucas Softel, Man Shovel, Matt Jackson, Mike Fallon, Mind of the Unsane, Nicholas Bertner, Over Giles Zane, Roll VP, Ray Blair, Retro to Next Gen, aka Lou, Richard Alderdick, Rovan Army, Sir Nilsson, Shade Silent, Shadow Dragon, Shappy, Solix Captor, That Gamer, The Old Man Cometh, The Sneaky Ferret, Tim Lunn, Todd Poolfloat G, Vitas Varnes, Vikeko, Wobbles and Bean, The Wonder Ducks, and Ye Old Hamburglar. Thank you to all of you guys for your support on this channel. I really do very much appreciate it. As all of you guys know, and for you people that are listening, all of these people I've just mentioned get to see all of my videos early. All of the videos that you see here on the screen, and the one you've just watched were previewed to my patrons and YouTube members early, and they also get access to every video I've ever done without adverts, without sponsorships, in the back end of YouTube, where I have all of the secret Slopes Game Room space. You can go and check all of that out right now. But anyway guys, yeah, thank you for however you decide to support the channel. I really enjoy what I do, and I really do like the fact that people are coming back to check out these videos. It's mind-blowing. But yeah, thank you all so much guys. Until next time, this is DJ Slope signing out, and hopefully I'll see you all next time. Bye bye.